Good afternoon and welcome to Eastern Lifestyle. I'm your host, Davia Pugh, and today I'm flying solo. I'm so glad you're here because an exciting show is coming up. This episode is all about highlighting some of Kaylee and I's interviews to hear the stories of inspiring people across ENC. Soon we'll hear about the journeys from an author in Oriental, a musician in Greenville, and an adventurer in Beaufort. But first, let's head to Goldsboro to hear from the inspiring family of Curt's Heat Hot Sauce. Hey everyone, I'm your host Davia. Right now we're in Goldsboro at a family home with a homegrown garden that produces hot sauce. It's called Curt's Heat Hot Sauces and it has amazing bold flavors. We're gonna learn all about their story. Let's get to it. So we are with Sean Frazier, the CEO and owner of Curt's Heat. Sean, thank you for allowing us to come today.
Thank you for coming here. I came about creating Curt's Heat Hot Sauces through a love and passion for the garden. So I love growing vegetables, I love growing my own produce, and I love spicy food and growing peppers. And I would actually take time every year growing peppers and making hot sauce for my family and loved ones. And they absolutely loved it. They kept telling me and pushing me, you should probably sell this, you should sell this. And when we moved down to North Carolina, we finally made that decision, a big step, and we started Curt's Heat. And we've been enjoying it and loving it ever since. I get a chance to work with my two boys and my amazing wife, Melissa Frazier, and this is just something that we wanted to do with them. I didn't want to say this is, just Dad's business, this is just Sean's business. This is something with a family because all of this is intentionally setting up time and a moment for legacy for the kids. This is something that they could be proud of. This is something that they could build upon.
When it comes to your hot sauces, what is the flavor like and what are the different options that people can get?
Well, with Curt's Heat, we don't just bring the heat, we bring the flavor, and that's what everyone loves about it. Not only do we have a little punch, but we have the flavor that goes behind it. And what's so unique about our sauce is that our sauce literally goes from seed to your bottle. We take pride in the fact that every ingredient you can pronounce. And I just see this as a brand that everyone can be attached to, that everyone can promote because it brings people together.
So we like for Sean to focus on just the product, crafting the product, growing the seeds from seed to bottle, that's his area. The other process is basically marketing, because it's like if you have a product, if people don't know about your product, what's the sense of making a product? Right. So that's where I come in. So I handle all of our marketing, I handle branding, crafting the designs from bottles, so that's my area, and also signing us up to connect with people at vendor events, getting us into local stores and just connecting with the community. We also have our amazing oldest son, Connor Frazier. He is 11 years old, soon to be 12. He has a gift where he understands the product from start to finish. So he has been the top seller for the last 2 months, and he has surpassed his dad, and his dad is actually a really good salesman. We also have our son, Landon Frazier, who is 7 years old. He'll be 8 in August. And Landon is just chief operation. When I tell you that he can assemble a bag, put a label on a bottle where everything is perfect and straight. So they all have their unique gifts whenever it comes to keeping the family business flowing and going. Yeah. It makes me in particular just very grateful.
We're about to taste test the Curt's Heat Hot Sauce.
That's it.
All right, I'm gonna do the medium.
And I'll do the hot.
Okay, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Okay, I'm excited. That's good.
It's good?
That's good.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Wow, I love the flavors. You can tell it's really fresh. Definitely check it out. Definitely get it. Wow, what an incredible story behind Curt's Heat. Be sure to check out their products. They are $12, and also check out Sean's book called Plant, Grow, Ignite on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Stay tuned for more on Eastern Lifestyle.
Get Curtified.
What a beautiful story. And it's awesome what they do as a family to operate the business. Creating the product from their own backyard is so cool. And by the way, that hot sauce was fantastic. So flavorful, and I highly recommend. So we're just getting started. Check out this author's inspiring story.
At 29 years old and with 3 young girls, Joan Aubele was diagnosed with stage 4 acute lymphoblastic leukemia, a severe cancer of the blood. This specific form of cancer is mostly seen in children, so being diagnosed with it in adulthood is rare, and the odds of survival were low.
They were going to delay the chemotherapy to the end of the week because they thought I was going to die. My husband was called in 8 times to say his goodbyes.
Following the cancer diagnosis, Joan suffered a major stroke due to complications from chemotherapy that left her unable to walk, write, eat, or speak properly. This was followed by a series of mini strokes around 10 years later. In 2015, 25 years after her cancer diagnosis, she decided to chronicle her journey based on her memory and journals from the time.
The dance was published in 2015, and it's a story about miracles and the power of prayer. 34 years I'm here. The prayers led to miracles, and I'm here 34 years now.
Was it difficult to share your story with others? Did you have any kind of apprehension of this is vulnerable and sharing personal, my personal story with other people? Yeah. Was there anything about that made you nervous?
No, I didn't actually, because I thrived in hearing other people's stories when I was sick. And there was one other young woman that had the same form of cancer as I did, and then she passed away. So I was elected into the guinea pig, the only adult survivor. So I know that for me, I wish I would have had something to reference or something that felt like I'm not alone going through this. And I think that's what I didn't mind doing that, because I'm I wanted to put my whole heart and soul into it. And also, it's more of a story, not just me, it's more my family, my friends, and all the neighbors, and how everybody came together. And I think that's what I'm trying to tell everybody, that it's not the end of the world. It's not a death sentence. No matter what situation you're going through, there's always going to be everybody there to help you. God is right with you.
The dance was read across the world. Joan did public speaking events where she met others who told their stories of unimaginable survival and determination. This inspired Joan to write her second book, a compilation of those stories entitled Hearts Ablaze.
I ended up starting to do a lot of public speaking, and in the presentations, I would come upon different people that were actually forming ripples of their own. And now I could see, this one would know this one would know with this one, and how we're all put together. They're all creating ripples, and there's little miracles within all our lives.
Why should people read your books?
To make you be more aware of your surroundings. I probably would have skated through life. And all of a sudden, this happens where you're faced with death and thinking you might not be there. Once I got home after my 3-month stint in the hospital, that terrible old house we had just up here, beautiful, the birds and everything. It's I want everybody to have the same experience. When they're younger in life, not until you get on your deathbed, and so maybe it's too late. You should be able to enjoy your life the whole time.
The dance became Amazon's #1 hot new release just 4 days after it was published and secured a 5-star Reader's Favorite award. Hearts Ablaze was awarded as a finalist in the Best Books Awards. If you would like to read Joan's story, you can order her books on Amazon or request a signed copy by emailing jathedance@yahoo.com. You can also find out more by visiting joanaubelefaithbooks.com.
It's time for the moment of Zen. Use this time to calm your mind, whether that's by taking a few deep breaths or meditating. Let go of any distractions or stress and focus on the present. Use this time to relax and find peace. Whether you have a business or you're someone with an interesting story to tell, you can email us at easternlifestyle@WNCT.com for an opportunity to be featured. Hey everyone, I'm your host Davia. Today we're talking music, creativity, and Carolina roots with Dre Fairley, who goes by Dre of the East. He's a former ECU football player turned multi-genre artist, blending country, go-go, rap, and R&B, just to name a few, creating a sound that is uniquely his. Dre, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. You really did do some research. It was
I
tough.
did. Yeah, thank you. So I know you're from Red Springs originally. Tell us a little about your upbringing.
So I was born in Prince George's County. That's in D.C., Maryland area, the DMV. I don't remember being up there because I don't remember much before I was like 10, 11. So I moved down here. Red Springs is a completely different environment than DC. So all I can remember is country, rural areas, you know, fields, and football. That's really it. My mom used to play music and stuff when we was cleaning up the house. I think that's a Southern thing they all do. I used to just listen to the music she played, and I just learned to like it. And I think that's how I started with music, just getting that love of music. I got it from my mom.
Okay, so have you always known you wanted to be a musician, like growing up?
Nah, I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Okay.
I think that most people don't know what they want to do until they get to college, they go through college, and they find that love for something, that passion for something, and it might not be with what their degree is in. But once you go through things, you learn what you love, and then you might shift. I have a degree in criminal justice and a minor in child development.
Okay,
so awesome. I do work in that field. However, like my passion, my love, what drives me is music, you know?
Awesome, okay. Wait, so what do you do for work?
So I work at a youth development center. I work with bad kids.
Bad kids?
Yeah, they're terrible. But I love them though.
Awesome,
yeah.
That's great. Okay, so like I said, you do different genres of music. What inspired that versatility to come about?
The creativity. I allow my creativity to just go. And I feel like a lot of times when people want to create or do something with their life, they stop themselves out of fear that it might not sound right, it might not look right, or I might not be good at it. It starts when you're a kid, when you jumping across the chairs and the tables, you know, being athletic, doing crazy stuff, your parents tell you to stop. So now you're more scared of doing something because that fear has been placed on you. I let that go a long time ago. I say my feelings, I say what I feel, I say what I see, I have it in my head, and then I might want to create from it. And that if I want to write a certain song, it might not sound right as a rap. It might sound better as a country song. So that's what I'm going to create. And I'm not scared to do it. Sometimes it don't sound right. But I'm going to do it anyway. You know?
That's awesome. Yeah. That's fantastic. And so I know you have 2 new singles that came out in 2025. A Year to Blow, Freestyle, and then you also have Single Ladies.
Yes.
They're both great. I listened to them. So how do you go about writing your songs? What's the process like for you?
I don't know. It's, like I said, I don't think I've been asked that one before. I started off writing like in my phone, just in my notes. And then as I moved along, I got to a point where I would just let it come out. I would sit in front of the mic, I record and do everything myself. I used to own a recording studio. So I would just sit in front of the mic and just say whatever I felt, and if something came from it, then it came from it. If not, then I just move on. And that opens the lane for so much creativity. And then also, a lot of people tend to talk about and speak about what they're going through. A lot of people's jobs become their life. So it's the same thing with music and creativity. What you're thinking about, what you're going through, it tends to come out in songs. And that's the way I tend to write nowadays, you know.
Awesome. So where can people go to find you?
So primarily on Instagram, but my music is on all platforms. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. Those are the mains. SoundCloud, wherever you stream, I'm there. But social media and the music, you know, the biggest way you can support is streaming, and when we do shows, come out.
Okay. And your handle is Dre of the East for those platforms?
Everything's
awesome.
Dre of the East.
Great.
Simple.
Awesome, Dre. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I appreciate you.
Let's get into the life hack of the day. Did you know that you can use a button to keep your earrings from getting lost? All you do is slip each pair through the holes of the button, and this is supposed to keep them together, tangle-free, and easy to find in your jewelry box or travel bag. Now, I was really fascinated by this life hack because I never thought to use a button for my earrings. And you know, when you're traveling, earrings are easy to get misplaced. So this is a really convenient way, and I really want to try this one for sure. Because, you know, buttons are pretty much like, we all have a button somewhere in our house. So let's try this one out. I think it'll be useful. All right, so now it's time for us to get into trivia. Where was the first Family Dollar store located? Is it A, Raleigh, B, Wilmington, C, Charlotte, or D, Surf City? We'll have the answer right after the break. Stick around. All right, we're back. If you guessed C, Charlotte, you're correct. The first Family Dollar opened in 1959 and was founded by a 21-year-old named Leon Levine and his cousin Bernie Levine. Leon's vision for the store was to target low and middle income families with good value merchandise for under $1. It became a Fortune 500 company with 8,400 stores in the U.S.
Beaufort resident Dianne Tetrault is setting off on a unique journey in December. So you are going on a cruise for how long?
It's actually 3.5 years.
Gotcha.
But we sail around the world. We go to 150 almost countries and 470 plus destinations. I'm actually joining the ship in Panama in December, and then we circumnavigate South America. It's actually a new cruising company, and the company is called Villa V Residences.
Okay.
And the ship name is the Odyssey. The rest of us are not guests on the ship. We are owners and residences. So we all bought our own cabin. That's your bedroom, the ship is your home. And our house is 680 feet long. So it's not your typical cruise ship. It is a residence home. I actually own the cabin for 15 years. And at this point in time, I'm planning on staying on 3.5 years. At the end of 3.5 years, I can decide I want to stay on board.
What made you want to go on this ship?
Older people, like myself, need to keep learning. If you get in the car and you drive to the grocery store, the doctor's office every day of the week, and never go a different way, then you're not learning. You're not using your mind. You're just doing things by rote. And I think keeping active, I definitely have done that while I've been living here. Doing exercise for your body and your mind is, I think, very, very important. I spent 8 years in the Caribbean on a sailboat. It was really, really fun. We left from Houston, Texas, and then putzed around the Caribbean. And then I ended up here in beautiful Beaufort, North Carolina to sell my sailboat, and had decided, well, I belong in Texas. So I'll stay in Beaufort and see all of North Carolina, all of the East Coast, and then I'll go home to Texas in 6 months where I belong. And that was 16 years ago. But I got involved in the Maritime Museum, the junior sailing program here, some other volunteer opportunities, and they were so friendly and so much fun. I kept saying, why would I leave? And I've met a really nice lady, and we have become friends. And so she's on the ship as well. She found this opportunity, so she signed up for it, called me and told me she was gonna do it. So she told me all about it, and I went to bed that night and went, why not do it? So I called her the next day and said, what would you think if I joined you? And she said, oh, I'm so glad, that was what I was hoping you would do. And I thought, what a way to see the world, to towns and cities I would never get a chance to go see. when we were sailing, we would go into like an anchorage and say, well, this is nice, we'll spend a couple of days here. And then we'd be there 2 weeks. And we always said our plans were cast in jello. You know, I'll just go where it takes me and I'll just see where I land.
If you'd like to keep up with Dianne's new adventure, you can follow along at diannesodyssey.com.
It's what's in the box time. I will be sticking my hand through the side of this box to guess what's inside. Let's see. Oh, these are little figures, like, is it a cat? A mouse? Oh, are these aliens? Ooh. Stitch. This is Stitch. And, what's her name? I guess her name is Angel, right? So cute, they're so cute. I got it right, I guessed it. It's always an honor to highlight the voices and stories that make our community so special, and I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining us today, and always remember to enjoy every moment of your Eastern lifestyle, and we'll see you next time. Segments in today's episode are sponsored by Curt's Heat Hot Sauce.